Hi, I'm Zula. Welcome to Heeseung's natal chart analysis. The chart you see is calculated for his birthday, which is October 15th, 2001. And the chart is calculated for 12 p.m. as his time of birth is unknown. So we're going to ignore the house placements of the planets and the signs on the house cusps. Heeseung has his Sun conjunct Mercury in Libra. Sun and Mercury's conjunction aligns his ego and self-expression to the way he thinks and communicates. In Libra, Heeseung is oriented toward logic and intellect rather than emotion or intuition. He's concerned with social interactions and group cooperations. He values collective objectives, the needs of the group, and united action rather than his individual experience or personal needs. And most of all, his goal is to maintain and balance harmony and fairness in any relationship. He is the type of person that can't stand owing someone. If someone does something nice for him or gives him a gift, he has a need to return that in a similar gesture. He likes to keep equality and equilibrium. Fair give and take are important for him to establish healthy connections. He will often feel undervalued and unappreciated if his affection and kind gestures go unnoticed or unreciprocated. He also has a natural capacity to put himself in other people's shoes. This allows him to understand people and situations from different perspectives, which makes him empathetic, open, and tolerant to differences. Although this means he is flexible, adaptable, and compromising, he experiences difficulty with being firm, opinionated, and decisive as he can easily see opposing perspectives. The Sun is regarded as debilitated when in Libra. Libra is not a strong sign for the Sun to express individual will and ego needs. Heeseung experiences difficulty asserting a strong sense of individuality or willfulness as to not to cause discord. His desire to cooperate and maintain harmony and peace in his relationships indicate his tendency to put other people's needs before his own. However, his tendency to always consider other people's experiences result in internal friction in him, and this is shown by his Sun's exact square aspect to his Mars. His Mars in Capricorn is exalted. Mars is very strong and determined in the sign of Capricorn. This placement gives Heeseung strong determination, stamina, and persistence to pursue his objectives and ambitions. He has a very controlled and self-disciplined approach to his physical energy and assertion. He's realistic, level-headed, and methodical. He has uncanny planning abilities, good judgment, and possesses a strong work ethic to succeed. However, the steadfastness and relentlessness is contrary to the needs of his Libra Sun. The values, needs, and motivations of the Sun and Mars don't see eye to eye, rather they challenge one another. It's difficult to assert, be willful, and relentless, and maintain peace and harmony at the same time. These contradictions cause him to fight internal battles. He's too well aware of the fact that he wants to please everyone, but also wants to compete and fight for his own agenda. He could even perceive his consideration for others as a personal weakness, perceiving himself as a people pleaser. Conversely, he can feel selfish or self-centered when he acts on his personal desires or when he goes against group objectives. He is able to fight and he possesses a competitive spirit and can be aggressive, but he doesn't feel good about it. The Sun and Mars square is actually part of a bigger aspect configuration in his chart known as a T-square, represented by the red triangle in his chart. This aspect connects the motives and desires of the planets involved, but in a manner that is tense and trying. His T-square presents challenges and hardship in his life related to his Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter. Jupiter in Cancer is another exalted placement. Jupiter Cancer is lucky, abundant, and provides sense of good timing for opportunities. And it is also a very expansive and magnifying energy. In Cancer, emotional motivations are emphasized and intuition can be strong. His generosity and tolerance are amplified as well. Heeseung has a strong need to nurture, to almost mother others and protect those he cares about. He can be excessively giving of himself and overextend himself emotionally at times. At the same time, he can experience an exaggerated sense of betrayal or feel emotionally depleted and rejected when others don't match his generosity in return. This pattern can bring in patterns of relationships that feel superficial, surface level, or those that lack deeper emotional bonds. Jupiter's opposition to his Mars can show overconfidence or even boastfulness. Often, Heeseung can overestimate his abilities, overdo, or overpromise. Overall, though, Jupiter with Mars does grant him high physical energy and stamina. This aspect can show up as violent tendencies or excessive anger and aggression, or it can be indicative of an angry or aggressive father with the Sun and Mars involved. Father might be confrontational and argumentative. Mars and Jupiter opposition also show high levels of enthusiasm, optimism, and desire for adventure and explorations. He's eager to challenge himself, to compete and fight for something bigger than himself. But he can place a lot of physical demand on his body, which can lead to health issues, especially if any of these planets fall in his first 6 or 12th houses, which are related to health. Sun and Mars's position and house rulerships would show more information about specific areas of his life likely to experience stress due to this aspect pattern. His Sun and Mercury conjunction are also part of an air grand trine aspect pattern involving Uranus and Saturn. This grand trine, represented by the blue triangle in his chart, shows innate gifts and skills that come naturally to Heeseung. With Sun in an exact trine aspect to Uranus, he embodies Uranus and Aquarius energy as part of his character and personality. Heeseung is open-minded, creative, and intelligent. His mind is progressive, and he often experiences flashes of genius insights and inspirations. There is a natural ability to experience a unique sense of individuality. Uranus inspires him to feel a special sense of purpose, like he's born with a fate or destiny. He feels special and unique in one way or another that sets him apart from other people. It also gives him a good balance that contrasts his need for group affiliations and social interactions. He is self-motivated, self-reliant, and independent, and comfortable with his own viewpoints and perspectives, even if they don't fit into popular opinions and viewpoints. With all the planets involved in air signs, this can show a sense of detachment and objectivity. Saturn is also part of this grand trine, supporting and working harmoniously with his Sun, Mercury, and Uranus. Saturn provides him with good judgment, discipline, and self-control. The combination of Saturn and Uranus gives him natural abilities to add new perspectives, unique twists, and progressive ideas to existing methods, systems, and thought forms. He is self-contained without being too restrictive and has good balance of logic and reasoning combined with unique and creative perspectives. However, these energies might not always be available for him to utilize, as both Uranus and Saturn are in retrograde. Also, this grand trine in the air signs can suggest that he can be intellectually complacent. His moon can either be in Virgo or Libra depending on his birth time. If he is born before 3 p.m., he would have a Virgo moon. After 3 p.m., he would have a Libra moon. In general, a Virgo moon would suggest that he finds inner security in staying productive, organized, and keeping up with a daily routine. He needs to feel that he's consistently making improvements and enhancing himself in small and practical ways. His standards for himself are pretty high, and he is self-critical. He can experience internal anxiety and emotional sensitivity in general when he feels a lack of internal balance or harmony. His moon conjunct Venus is similar to the expression of a Libra moon. This contact shows that he is sensitive to other people, to social cues, and relationships. Social needs such as connections and sense of belonging are experienced as an emotional need for Heeseung. He needs to feel accepted and appreciated in order to feel internally secure. Both the moon and Venus embody feminine energy, so this contact makes Heeseung feminine, receptive, and sensitive. This is a very gentle, loving, and nurturing contact. He doesn't want to cause harm or see others suffering or in pain. These qualities are further enhanced with his Venus trine to Neptune. His moon conjunct Venus is the only consistent aspect the moon makes for the entire day of his birthday. The nature of his moon and his emotional needs and instinctual reactions will be different depending on the types of other aspects it's involved in with other planets. He most likely has his Venus in Virgo. However, Venus does move into Libra at 9 p.m. on his birthday. So if he is born after 9 p.m., then he would have a Venus in Libra. I'm going to analyze his Venus placement in Virgo, as I think that he does have a Virgo Venus. Virgo Venus is discerning, critical, and nitpicky. However, the moon's contact with it softens its natural tendencies for pessimism and makes him more yielding and tender. He is less likely to openly criticize others, even if he notices flaws and shortcomings, due to a natural tendency for discernment. He values order and cleanliness, and his love language is likely to be service, doing practical things for the people he loves. And he feels most loved and appreciated when others do little things for him. He notices and appreciates small practical gestures of affection and kindness. If he does have a Libra moon conjunct Libra Venus, then his self-value and self-image will depend on the quality of his social connections and interactions. He would be very agreeable and cooperative, as these qualities affect his sense of emotional comfort and peace. If the conjunction is in Virgo, then there is a desire to help and be of service to other people in order to experience a positive self-image. However, with Virgo, he can get stuck with small details of relationship exchanges. It would deplete his desire to give and be helpful if he feels that he's the one that is giving more in any connections. He can turn pessimistic and disappointed with people more easily with the Virgo moon and Virgo Venus. With Libra, he's attracted to people that have grace for social skills. People or women that carry themselves with diplomacy and tact are specifically attractive qualities to him. With Virgo moon and Venus, he is likely to be attracted to intelligent, well put together individuals who are orderly and organized. People who enjoy doing mundane but necessary tasks, and those that pay close attention to personal hygiene, health, and daily routines will earn his respect. He would be turned off by overly showy or flamboyant types. That's it for my analysis of Heeseung's natal chart. I hope you found this video informative. Do subscribe and stick around for more videos like this.